Welcome to this webinar. Today we are going to analyze Parkwood in Dubai Hills Estate, a brand new launch, actually launching tomorrow on the 26th, I think. Interiors by Vida, so they're already giving you an indication of the quality that they are going to be delivering in this project. A very common question that you guys do ask is, why does it seem like prices just keep going up? Number one, it should. That's a good sign if you have invested. If you haven't invested, you want it to slow down so that you can get into the market. I completely understand that. And today's webinar is going to show you that there is actually opportunity in Dubai Hills Estate, still in certain layouts. But if you think about the new master plans, the developers are obligated to allocate 60% of their development grounds to green spaces. That means they can't utilize that entire space to build as many units as possible to capitalize on that space. But that's a benefit for you as the investor going forward into the future. You've got less number of buildings, less number of buildings in one location, which means lesser units of the sort that you purchased. Just means better capital appreciation and rental yield potentials. So the project itself is located in this open patch here, and majority, 60% of this entire ground that you see is going to be covered in open green spaces. But what I want to draw attention to is the capital appreciation that investors just like yourself have seen in 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom apartments on the park, right? So we're going to focus on Mulberry and probably also focus on Acacia to show those type of returns. So I'm going to go through some of the transactions. So what I did was I filtered down Mulberry, the sales. Let me make my face smaller. Mulberry, the sales, 2 bedrooms, the sales that happened in the ready market over the last 3 years. Because these construction periods for this new project is so drawn out, so long, I think 2028, 2029, we have the advantage of hindsight to look across a wider sort of expanded timeline to see what really happens in a longer period of time, if that makes sense. So over the last 3 years, 2 bedrooms in Mulberry have appreciated. Prices have gone up by 64%, right? The average price has gone up by 64%. The average price per square foot has gone up by 65%, and the transaction volumes have increased by 21% over the last 3 years. If we truly look slightly deeper into every single transaction, you'll see the sold for banner here, and you'll see tremendous appreciation that has been achieved. But I think it's really important to dive deeper, to look into the intricacies of these deals. We don't understand the buyer or the seller's situation through data, but we can look at how long have they held on to this and what was that performance like. So this is a 2-bedroom, and it was a 1,349 square foot. Now, they bought this in June 2014. So this was at the previous peak of the market. So this is when everybody was buying because of Expo announcement. During that peak is when they bought at 1,200 dirham per square foot. And I can't even imagine the mindset that most property owners had when they saw the downward spiral for 6 years after that. Just imagine. However, because they persevered and their situation didn't change and they didn't need to sell, they held on to this until 2025, where they sold for 3.3 million dirham. Now, that's a pretty decent return. Majority of that money was made up in the last year. And I saw that in a few other transactions, which I'll try and find. We'll analyze a couple of more transactions here. The 2-bedroom transactions in Mulberry that are higher than others is because Mulberry has really good sizes. Mulberry is on the park. And that's why I'm comparing the 2-bedroom opportunities in our Parkwood launch with Mulberry, because you do have an opportunity to purchase similar sizes. And you can see in the ready market, the most recent transactions are selling for much higher than what you're going to buy in the new launch. Makes sense? Let's see if this is true for 3 bedrooms as well. So 3 bedrooms are around 1,900 square foot, 1,959 square foot in Mulberry, selling at around 4.7, 5.7, 5 million, 5.5. So the big difference between these are the views. Higher prices, higher floors, but this wasn't floor 2. But this probably had a direct view of over the amenities and onto this major park that I showed you, this one in the middle here. So it probably looks all the way through this park, and this is a huge park. It's 1 kilometer long, and it's half a kilometer wide, I can say. So just have a look at these prices. Let's look at 77. Let's look at this deal, for example, sold once. This deal actually sold 4 times, so this is interesting. So this is a 3-bedroom, 2,491 square feet. Sorry, not 1,900. That was the price per square foot. They bought this in June 2014 at the peak of the market at 2.5 million. Sold it in 2016 again for the same value. If they just held on until 2021, but you don't know the people's circumstances, that sold for 200,000 more, just covering DLD fees, I'm sure. And then from 2021 to 2022, that increased to 3,030,000 from 2.7, as you can see. And then in December 2024, between 22 and 2024 is when the market really started picking up, and this buyer picked it up for 4.5 million dirham. Okay, so there's an opportunity, a very clear opportunity for us in the off-plan market right here. I'm going to minimize myself here because it's more important that you see these sizes and prices. So the 2 bedrooms that we saw in Mulberry, and we can compare this in a one-on-one call together as well, which I actually want to take the moment to invite you to a one-on-one call with me so that we can go through these type of analyses together when you're looking at investing in products like this. This is turning out to be tremendously fruitful and promising. Okay, so there's a link in the description. Just click on that link and book a meeting. So your 2 bedrooms, there's 163 of them, right? Starting at 1,071 square feet up to 1,508 square feet. So we're within the range of where Mulberry is. The starting prices here is 2.61. In Mulberry, 1,300 square foot sells for over 3 million dirham. So right now, as it stands in the market, that will continue to rise. Why? Because the unique selling proposition for Mulberry is that in its position, it is one of a few buildings on that park that has a view that it has, and that is never going to change. And that is the exact fact for Parkwood as well, right? At 2.6 million, these prices will continue to rise because Park View residences, well, Hillside Park, but Park View, if you have a view, is always more highly desired. There's a 2-bedroom in Acacia or Mulberry. I saw it earlier today. That sold for 4.4 million dirham. 4.4 million dirham. It was bought for 1 million dirham less just last year. So the 2 bedrooms, 1,508 square feet. Starting price is 2.6 million, 100,000. 3 bedrooms, also premium views, as you saw, selling for over, we don't have to guess, for over 4.5 million dirham. Here they are starting at 3,790,000 dirham. I don't think I have to expand on that. Your views here will be totally open. You won't look into any other building because you have this large park in the middle. Just to give you an idea of Hillside Park, the large park in the middle. So your buildings are scattered around this park. There's only 4 spots for 4 buildings. There will be 2 towers per spot. But this is what you will be looking out over, because 60% of that entire area needs to be green spaces. Okay, so your 2 bedrooms will typically be positioned here, overlooking the open park. Nothing that excites me more than to bring really good value for money to you. Hopefully you're not too late, to be honest. This is such a good project, and if you want more details, there is a link in the description of this video that will take you to my calendar, where you can schedule a time that is good for you. It takes about 30 minutes, and we go through analyses like this to make sure that we advise you on the right units to purchase for successful investment. I know this makes a lot of sense to you. I'm your real estate mate, because everybody needs a mate in real estate. I'll see you on the next video.